Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for tuning in as per usual. Now in this video I want to list 7 reasons you should not become a police officer. Being a police officer is like being the golden child of all of public safety. That is the core function of policing, to keep the public safe and to maintain law and order. Now here in Jamaica, the people call us for every single thing. We are doctors, we are lawyers, we are counselors, and the list goes on. Even when the problem is not a police matter, the department that they call first is the police department. Now, it is not like the police can turn those persons away. We have to find solutions to their problems. That is what we are for, right? But anyway, look at it. Police officers have a great responsibility to the people, and so it is a job that you have to be very passionate about, as it is going to be very stressful. It is going to be a very stressful time for you. So in this video I want to go over 7 reasons that policing might not be for you, right? It might not be the best fit for you. When I got into policing, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any family connections. I didn't have any friends that was a police officers. I knew no one and I knew nothing about policing. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about now are things that I have learned over the years, and some are things that people don't really think about when they consider joining the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Now, number 1, policing might not be for you if you are going into it for the money. And what do I mean by that? Because every job persons go into, they're going to it for some financial gain. And I don't mean this the same way that persons would interpret it. There is this old school mentality where if you are here for the money, then you are here for the wrong reasons and you shouldn't be a police officer at all. But that is not what I am talking about. As a matter of fact, if you think that, right, being a police officer is a safe and stable job for you, if you think that it is a job that you will stay in for a very long time, if you think that it is a job that you will be able to make a good income from and it will make you financially stable, if that is your only reason for joining, then do it. There is nothing wrong with that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will be a bad police officer. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of persons who are in jobs that they don't necessarily love, but it is a stable job. It makes them financially stable and it pays the bills, right? So this isn't unique to you. However, what I'm talking about is that it might not be for you if you are in it for the money, in a sense that you want to make a lot of it, especially in a very short period of time. Now, depending on what rank you are, you can make a decent amount of money and be able to live somewhat a comfortable life. But when you are just starting out in the JCF, when you are the new kid on the block, right, starting out at the lowest rank, there is not a lot of money to be made. You will get enough to survive and to take care of your bills and your responsibilities, but there's not much to spare where you can gallivant and spend it on foolishness, right? So if you think that there is a ton of money to be made and that is your only reason to join, then policing is not enough for you, right? If making a ton of money is your sole reason, then that might be your motivation to becoming a corrupt cop. Sorry, but we have enough of that already. We don't need no more of those in the JCF, right? Number 2, it is terrible for your health. No one really talks about this part of policing, right? One major reason why it's terrible for your health is that, for starters, you don't really get much sleep at nights, and that's something that people might frown upon, saying that police should not sleep on the job. But working 16 hours to 24 hours at a time at nights, you get extremely exhausted. being up all night, going into various communities, some volatile areas throughout the night, going on multiple scenes of domestic disputes or domestic violence, right? It gets very taxing on the brain and it messes with your mental health. Some nights you might hit the jackpot and not get a lot of reports or incidents to deal with, but even so, you still can't get a proper rest, and sleeping during the day cannot make up for a good night's rest, right? It is simply not the same. Police officers go through a lot. We go through a lot, and we have a lot to deal with. No one really talks about the stressful part of this job, right? But anyway, while a all-nighter here and there may not be the end of the world, stack that on each other for 10, 20, 30 years, all of your career, and see what happens. That is where the issues lies, right? It's really not good for your health. Also, poor nutrition is a chronic problem within the JCF. Police officers don't typically take care of themselves well after joining the JCF. We sit all day, whether we are around a desk or we are in the patrol unit. Most of the days we don't even get to eat a proper meal, right? Because of all the assignments that we have to deal with, that we have to tend to. And when we do eat, it's normally a box of grease and a bottle of sugar. This is what causes a lot of the NCDs, and that is one of the top reasons police officers don't live too long after they retire. Police officers tend to not live long enough to enjoy their pension. Now, number 3, you are not a people person. You see, if you are actively avoiding social interactions, then this job may not be for you. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be times, that you don't get annoyed with people. Anybody who spent a lot of time working in public safety knows that dealing with the public at large every single day, constantly, day in, day out, in the middle of the night, it can get very, very stressful, right? Jamaicans are not the best people to try and talk to, especially in a case where you are trying to enforce some sort of law and order, right? Jamaicans are not the best persons to deal with as it relates to that aspect of the society. What this means is, given the circumstances, you should still be able to carry on a basic conversation with people. As a police officer, you are a leader in the community that you serve, whether you like it or not, whether you think of yourself as one or not. You are going to be looked upon as a leader in the community. So if you can't have a basic conversation with people, basic social skills, this is probably not going to be the job for you, because you are not going to represent the JCF very well. Also, being a people person, you need to have a certain base level of sympathy and empathy towards people. You are going to see some really tough and gut-wrenching things on this job, and when you do, you don't want to be a robot, right? You want to be able to feel for persons, and you want to be able to sympathize with them and see what they are going through. I understand. Number 4, you can't work in a team. Whether you like it or not, you will have to be able to work in a team with maybe 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 or even more, right, persons, different men and women, for 24 hours at least at a time. For some people, that can get very frustrating, especially if you have to work with someone that you don't necessarily like, or you and them you not see eye to eye with each other. It can get pretty draining. So if you are unable to work in a group or fit into a group, this is going to be a very tough time for you, because it is very rare you see one police officer working. Most times it is a group of officers, right? What you have to understand is that at the end of the day, it is a job. We have to do it. So you will have to be able to set personal feelings aside and get the job done. And if you cannot do that, then this job is not for you. Number 5, you don't do well with working with authority. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about as it relates to this. The first thing is answering to others. If you are someone that just thinks that you know the right way to do things all the time and no one else is as smart as you are, no one knows everything, right? Or have the answer to everything. But you see, if you are that person, don't join the JCF. You are going to be such a problem for everyone else. And also, if you are not going to do well with answering to people simply because they are senior to you, you won't do well in this job. There is this age-old idea that seniority a lot of times equates to competence, and I strongly disagree with that. And I believe that anyone who has worked in the JCA for a period of time knows at least one senior officer who believes and acts as if they know everything when in fact them don't know nothing at all, right? That is something that you probably will have to deal with if you are to join the JCF. Seniority does not equate to competence, but it does equate to more knowledge, and that's what you, especially as a new officer, will need, right? Knowledge. The JCF is a very seniority based type of organization, and if that's something that you will have a problem with, this might not be the job for you. Number 6, you like reinventing the wheel. If that is you, if you are the person that is always looking for new ideas to implement things quickly, readily and easily, you are going to struggle. The JCF isn't exactly the organization that is quick to implement new strategies and technologies that will make your work easier and seamless. The JCF moves very slow in modernizing its operations. Over the years, it has made a lot of progress, but we are still not even close to where we'd like to be, right? So if you come in and you believe that because you have some master's degree in technology or you have some sort of background and you are going to change things just like that, you are going to be in for a rude awakening. The JCF isn't so accepting of change as you may think. It is slow in whatever it does. So if you can't work with what's already there until it decides it's time to implement that much needed change, if that is you, then this might not be the job for you. And the last thing I want to talk about, you really struggle with or you can't handle tragedy. I didn't realize this when I first started in the JCF, how much stuff you will see. And by that I mean the beauty of public service, the beauty of public safety is that you see everything. You see the highest of the highs, you see the lowest of the lows. I'm talking about everything, right? You see the richest, you see the poorest. You see some really awesome things and you see some horrible, tragic things whilst working in the JCF. You will see tragic incidents. You will see the pain that the people who are left behind have to go through. And I don't really want to get into specifics, but I think you guys get the idea of what I am talking about. And you will have to deal with those things. And if you are the type of person who is emotionally fragile and that's something you might not be able to deal with on a day in day out basis, then this might not be the career choice for you. But yeah, that is it for me, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If there's anything that you heard of or you know of, put them in the comments below. I am interested to know more about what you guys are nervous about, maybe what you're not looking forward to, or things that you just don't, you don't expect. Throw them in the comments. I read every comment and I try to answer as much of them as I can. As always, guys, like the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Blessings.